good afternoon, everybody. The two teams are unchanged in actual fact. A quick check as they wait to kick off. Norwich City, the side here that beat Manchester United and then lost to Swindon in midweek. Goalkeeper Gunn and top scorer Fleck being watched here today by Andy Roxburgh, the Scotland manager. And number 7, Dale Gordon, obviously providing the width on the right flank. As for Liverpool, also unchanged, the team that beat Crystal Palace. Bobby Robson's here to check on the likes of Beardsley, Barnes and McMahon. So Everton already through. Can Liverpool, the holders, make it a Merseyside double? Or can Norwich City, who've never reached the FA Cup final in their history, provide one of the surprises of this season's competition? Norwich, yellow and green, playing from left to right. And Ian Crook, number 10, who's the topic of a bid by Coventry City this weekend, is playing in midfield with Andy Townsend. Here's Rosario. Number 2, Culverhouse. 7 is Gordon, being marked by Staunton, wearing 8 for Liverpool, but playing at left-back. Fleck. Rosario. They do move the ball about well, Norwich, as Jimmy Hill was saying. Bowen plays it forward for Gordon. Hussein is with him. Phillips. And Rosario gets in the first header, and there's a sign, perhaps, of where Liverpool could just be unsettled. There is a feeling maybe that if the crosses are good enough, Hansen and Hussein will find Rosario a handful. We shall see. But it depends on them getting the ball wide. Forward by Venison for Liverpool. Butterworth, the Norwich captain, to Minigan. Rosario again. Fleck. Here's Andy Townsend. Good ball by Bowen. Fleck to Townsend, hits it early. I know you feel, Trevor Brooking, that Andy Townsend could be a key figure in midfield today.
Well, I think lots of players get headlines, but Andy Townsend, of course, a Republic of Ireland player, perhaps in Jack Charlton's plans, is a very underrated. He's a good all-round player, got a lovely left foot, and does score spectacular goals, although that one went into the crowd.
Here's John Barnes, who can also do spectacular things for Liverpool. Tries to get Beardsley in, and the covering player was Butterworth. We've been playing for 5 minutes. And this is Culverhouse. Dale Gordon. Forward by Linnigan. That's Rosario. This is Gordon. Rosario tries to find Crook. Staunton across. Culverhouse. Crook. 2 ex-Tottenham players combining there for Norwich. Here's Barnes. It's got Beardsley in the middle, rush further over. Others coming from midfield, including Whelan here. Nicol. Challenged by Butterworth on Beardsley. Venison's turn on to Beardsley again. Venison. Dale Gordon back in defence, challenged by Ian Rush. And that's been tipped over. Steve Nicol tried something there, quite unexpected, and Brian Gunn had to be at his most observant to see what was coming. First time effort from Steve Nicol, dipping viciously, and Gunn a really fine save, bearing in mind his starting position and where he had to get to tip it over. It's a corner to Liverpool. Well, Andy Roxburgh would have enjoyed that. 2 Scottish players there. And now Nicol finds Venison. And it's Rosario who clears, and somebody's got their boot off there, it's Beardsley. But here's Barnes as play goes on. Chipped in, and a corner. Liverpool looking menacing. There's so much variety to their game. And while it was going on, Peter Beardsley was replacing his boot. Nicol. Ronnie Whelan on the back of this. This is Staunton. Good effort. Well, they're coming in from all angles and from all positions. And there goes Barnes. Butterworth cleared it straight to Staunton. Good cross by Barnes. Here's Whelan. McMahon. friendly challenge with Crook. Hussein looks for Barnes. That was a good ball too. And corner kick. And Liverpool with their volume of travelling support, always evident, have the corner. Hussein is forward again. It'll be taken by Peter Beardsley. And three of them hovering in near post areas now. Nicol gets in, rushes there. Rush, as always, looking for the final touch. Staunton again. Rush is coming towards the near post. Townsend failed to collect that, but he tackled well against Whelan. Fleck came back to help, and they're all diving in. Hansen. Venison. Liverpool are playing with three well up here. Whelan, there's Beardsley on the edge. Whelan again. They're taking the game to Norwich with a lot of freedom at the moment, the FA Cup holders. Liverpool, whose away form in the First Division has been pretty impressive. In fact, they've scored more goals away than nearly every other team has scored at home. And here's Fleck for Norwich, and he loves to shoot early. First sight of goal, and he wants to strike. Norwich have yet to get one of their central midfield players into a dangerous advanced position, but handball by Barry Venison to prevent Robert Fleck getting away. And I suppose that'll bring in a few letters about should there be a booking. Keith Hackett has decided to award the free kick, and let that be that. Butterworth and Linnigan are both forward for it. Hansen heads out. Crook. Oh, and Dale Gordon! What a good block by Glenn Hussein. David Phillips. Rosario. Gordon! The best that Norwich have produced so far. But a point of a booking as we watch this again. It was actually Dale Gordon who got in first. David Phillips just lofted the return ball in quite intelligently, and Rosario's header, Gordon might have got on the end of it. It was very close. Rosario, and it just came off Alan Hansen. Conveniently for Liverpool, straight to Barnes, and he bends one down the line for Rush, who's on his own for the moment, as far as red shirts are concerned, but there'll soon be support, knowing Liverpool. Here's Beardsley. Barnes, tucked into McMahon. The sheer geometry of their game is so well rehearsed. This is Venison. It goes from side to side using both flanks. Nicol. And Rush, oh, headed it the wrong way. Perhaps surprised that it actually came over Butterworth's head there. Here's Crook. Gordon. Phillips. Norwich also working the ball intelligently at times. Neat and tidy. And well appreciated by the crowd too. They know they're watching a real football match here. Dale Gordon. Three waiting for his cross. One of them is Culverhouse here. Found a good position from right back. Alan Hansen. Barnes. McMahon into Whelan. This is promising. Crook to Townsend. Good play. Now he can power forward a bit. Phillips. Corner, there was a deflection from that shot. David Phillips, who's well known for being able to strike. A good, hard shot from range. And Dale Gordon will go across to take the corner. Linnigan is moving into a near post position for Norwich. Rosario is on the line. Butterworth to come from deeper. Rosario's up. It's clipped the bar, and he can't believe his luck. Well, Robert Rosario's goal output not always as high as he would like, but he jumped well there against Hussein and Grobbelaar, and they were both beaten. No question that the goalkeeper wasn't in the race, and the ball came back off the crossbar, and Rosario has to be said to be unlucky, Trevor.
He's having that sort of season, really, Johnny. He's had a few sort of goal-scoring opportunities that keep coming back off the woodwork. Monday they'll go in, but I'm sure he'd have liked to have been today.
Here's Nicol for Liverpool. It's dangerous, and Butterworth had to cover mighty quickly. And that's Liverpool for you. They may look as though they were lucky to escape at one end, but suddenly they're threatening at the other with 10 minutes left in the half. That's what happened last week at Crystal Palace. Beardsley to take the corner. Nicol! There is competition for places up front for Norwich. They've got the Danish player Henrik Mortensen not on the bench even today. That was Hussein on Fleck, and Keith Hackett has adjudged that to be a foul. Taken quickly, this is Crook. And he floats one, and it wasn't so very far away. Nice measured effort from Ian Crook. Hansen, Barnes, Whelan. Norwich have got everybody back behind the ball. This is time added on now for stoppages at the end of the first half, and it's Bowen who finally wins out to find Phillips. Townsend, that's a good ball by Crook to Gordon. Townsend, Gordon, and half-time. Plenty of movement, certainly a few good moments. Liverpool perhaps having more of the game, but Norwich in certain ways matching them in their style of football. But in this fourth round cup tie at Carrow Road, the players go off after the first 45 minutes with the score still Norwich City 0, the holders Liverpool 0. They've done an awful lot of work here to the ground behind the scenes, improved the stadium, comfort and convenience, very much a key word in the way that this club is run. And of course, if you go really a long way back, a great cup tradition back in the old Third Division South days, wasn't there? I think 59, when Norwich got to the semi-final and became, I think, at that time the closest of any Third Division team to reach the FA Cup final. They went out in a semi-final replay, and then of course reached the semi-final as a First Division club last season. So it may not seem the most fashionable place to watch football, Norfolk, but they've had their moments here, and they've enjoyed them to the full. And Dave Stringer, who I remember as a player and a very good central defender in the Norwich team under Ron Saunders that came up from the second division in 1972. He had a great partnership with Duncan Forbes, who's also still on the staff here. Two real Norwich stalwarts. 2 against 2 here. Nicol. Rush. Nicol again, and Norwich are being a little careless here. Venison. McMahon. Staunton's on the left. Plenty of red shirts forward again here. Rush. Beardsley. Early shot by Beardsley, and he surprised the Crystal Palace goalkeeper last week with one like that. Brian Gunn was ready for it. Sometimes they say his goal output isn't what it should be, Peter Beardsley, because he's such an unselfish player, but he has a habit of striking from there from time to time. Fleck. Townsend. Crook. Wide to Phillips. Good play by Norwich. Rosario's taken up his position on the far side. Bowen to Crook. He'll have to check again now and go the other way, the big centre forward. Culverhouse. Beardsley, and there's one for Rush. Is he away? It's Linnigan who's with him, and it's Ian Rush trying to hold him off, and he waits for Beardsley.
Well, that was a great break by Liverpool. Andy Linnigan did superbly there to get back and funnel. As you see, Ian Rush wanted to come back across the defender, but he's got back, made him turn, held him up. Good ball back. Peter Beardsley did hit it very, very well. The Brian Gunn was always there, but it was a great through ball originally as well. John Barnes won possession, and it was Beardsley who found Ian Rush over the top.
Is it a sign perhaps that Rush might be creeping into the match? He depends, of course, on the right sort of service, but one has to be fair to the Norwich defenders and say how well they've played him today. That being a case in point from Andy Linnigan. Bowen. And Fleck's turn against Hussain. Little shove, but Keith Hackett a superb advantage. It's Fleck for Norwich. Well, good refereeing, because there was a push. No question in my mind about that. He could have stopped the game, because Fleck was just knocked by Hussain, but not enough to prevent him steaming on. He'll just catch it there, but that's where referees sometimes rightly allow the forward the advantage. And that's the Norwich Cup song booming out now. On the ball, City, never mind the danger. That's what they used to sing back in those third division days. And it's been sustained down the years. Well, they're pretty useful on the ball these days, and they've snuffed out the Liverpool danger up to now, but for how long? Rosario, Gordon, chance! Oh, what a fine effort! He hit that superbly on the run, and it was the right thing to do. Rosario set him up. Hussain couldn't cut out the pass. Hansen couldn't get there, and look at that instant left foot drive from Dale Gordon. And from the other side of the ground, you might appreciate it even more, because you'll see just how well he hit it and how quickly. They really enjoyed that. Barnes. Rush. Just a reminder to Liverpool that this cup tie is still very much there for the taking. After an hour's play. Rosario. Townsend checking. Bowen. Oh, and well, Fleck had foxed Hansen there, I think. The turn was a good one, and the Liverpool captain with a spot of gamesmanship, I have to say. It may have ended in smiles with the referee, but he caught Fleck just when the little man looked like getting away. So Linnigan goes forward. It's a long one from Crook. Rosario.
I think that sort of incident is the one which I would like to see more of booking, because there's no doubt it was a good dummy by Fleck and he would have been clear, whereas the one in the first half, Keith Hackett quite rightly didn't book. I think that one was possibly a booking offence.
I think Alan Hansen smiled Keith Hackett out of it, actually, Trevor. Anyway, you're quite right, technically it was. Here's Venison. Beardsley. Fleck again, he's buzzing now. And he's taking them on, and so is Gordon. And Gordon's away for Norwich. Rosario far post. Ronnie Whelan nearly an own goal. So close off the number 5, and Grobbelaar the hero. Dale Gordon, Ronnie Whelan, Bruce Grobbelaar.
And here we have it. It probably got a bit wider than he needed to, Dale Gordon, and they had to cross it in the end. Ronnie Whelan deflecting it. Unfortunately for Bruce Grobbelaar, took the pace off it. If it had sort of increased the pace, it would have been in at the near post.
Beardsley looking for Nicol, but Bowen saw the danger. That's been the whole point of the match in a way, that defenders have been mentally alert to the point where the forward who might have sneaked in on another day just hasn't had the room to reach the final pass. There's a great awareness about the players on both sides here. Hansen. Little flick by Beardsley. McMahon is the player through. But he might have done an awful lot better than that. Actually, probably Robson watching. It's interesting that Barry Venison, who may well be virtually the only non-international or full international in the Liverpool team, if you assume that Grobbelaar is one because he's played for Zimbabwe. Barry Venison, I think perhaps feels he has the faintest of chances of maybe forcing his way into contention. Linnigan away from Rush. Beardsley. Linnigan again. Beardsley for Liverpool. Chance here. And Gunn read what Beardsley was going to do. That was a smart piece of thinking by the striker, but an admirable reading of the situation by the goalkeeper. Maybe the other Liverpool players would have liked to have seen it pulled back, Trevor.
I think Ian Rush was anxiously waiting. He's just out of the picture here, but he was really on for the square ball, and really it was a side foot shot then from Peter Beardsley.
Rosario. That's not a bad ball. Andy Townsend for Norwich. Butterworth. Beardsley looks for Nicol, and Bowen had to get that. But he couldn't thread the pass through. Beardsley, he did to Barnes. Rush, there's perhaps a chance for McMahon on the left. And Culverhouse forced to concede the corner as Liverpool increased the pace a little. Well, Staunton will take the corner kick. It's going to be an outswinger. Glenn Hussein is up there. And he got there too. And Rush was standing next to the goalkeeper and would appear to have been penalised. Glenn Hussein got the header in.
Today when defenders probably will look back on fonder memories of the forwards, although Peter Beardsley I think has had an excellent game, but Linnigan and Butterworth have been outstanding when you consider they're against a very informed Russian Beardsley.
Here's Phillips. Bowen. And this is Whelan. It is a difficult thing to say because wherever you look on the pitch, there's somebody playing well, isn't there, at this high level of performance. There's one of them, Beardsley, and he's taken Linnigan on, and he might change things here, Beardsley. It's still Beardsley for Liverpool, and Gunn saves on the 6-yard line. And if the finishing had been just a little bit hungrier, this match might have been settled after all. Peter Beardsley now has made space for himself on a couple of occasions, but he hasn't quite struck the shot that would beat a goalkeeper like Gunn. A couple of minutes to go, as Trevor said. That's Linnigan for Norwich. Rosario to Fleck. Now then, they have got people in the penalty area here, including Andy Townsend. Crook. Gordon! Oh, how close was it? Well, from this angle, it was hard to say, but Dale Gordon's effort went right across the goal. It was Crook with a lovely little ball. Look at the way he just jerked that up, and Gordon across Grobbelaar, but disappointment on the face of Rosario. He couldn't reach it. As you see it from the other side of the ground, little ball in by Crook was delightful. Now then, well, it wasn't very far away from the post, was it? But here's Rush at the other end with a minute to go. It's Barnes. Oh, and he brought a save out of Gunn, but in fact is a corner. He says not, but where the ball is. Keith Hackett is sure, he's given it. Now then, Brian Gunn can't say a lot because he's got to be very careful these days about protesting, but it did look a slightly harsh decision. Anyway, it was a good effort by Barnes, wasn't it? It nearly caught the goalkeeper. Corner to Liverpool. And again, about 30 seconds of the 90 minutes left, and it's rather tense for Norwich. Having come close to winning it at the other end, they now have to defend in the closing seconds. Barnes with the spectacular overhead effort. Here's Whelan. This is Nicol. And as he gets the ball, the referee blows for time, and Kenny Dalglish and Dave Stringer shake hands after a well-contested cup tie, which had some attractive elements in it, but in which neither side was really able to get the little bit of edge that would have made the difference. There were scoring opportunities, but they were more like half chances. Both goalkeepers made saves at important times. Defenders on both sides played very well, especially the central defenders, and it goes back to Anfield on Wednesday night, where Norwich happen to have quite a good record, probably one of the best records of any team on Liverpool's ground. Anyway, here at Carrow Road, this fourth round tie ends. Norwich City 0, the holders Liverpool 0.
Yeah, I thought it was a good game. I thought we had chances to win it. I missed a couple myself, but I think before the game we'd have probably settled for a draw and get them back to Anfield.
And now?
Well, hopefully now we can do the business and look forward to Southampton.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.